Everybody, I am super excited because I have had some adaptive yoga for yoga teachers kind of hidden in my YouTube channel. And I decided to go ahead and make these videos public because I feel like the more that yoga teachers can understand that there is a way to teach yoga to people with differences, whether that's a physical challenge or a developmental challenge, that there really is no barrier when we think about yoga in the truest sense of the word. I think that the Western world of yoga has viewed it as postures only, or that the primary focus, at least, is postures. Teaching somebody how to stand on one leg, touch their toes, increase flexibility, all of that. And in my little world, I think that the physical part of yoga is far more used than it needs to be, and that we've lost the true essence of yoga. And by definition, yoga is union, means to yoke together. And so when I am speaking about adaptive yoga or teaching other yoga teachers how to do this, I always go back to that definition that we are attempting to bring union to that person's mind and body and spirit, but then also to each other, to one another, to find that community and connection that the world has lost, especially if your world is different and you're living with a neurological condition that has really put a barrier between you and maybe even your family and your job, the people that you have associated with for a long time. So what I want to do is just go through the four things that have to happen in every yoga class as a adaptive yoga teacher. And then I'm going to go ahead and publicize over the next week or so different videos that I've done over the last year that are Q&A sessions that are in a private forum that I have where people submit questions to me. A lot of it's business, a lot of it's how to adapt and adopt this sort of philosophy in an assisted living setting. But you'll get a general idea what you're going to find in these videos from this. And those four things that have to happen in every single yoga class, typical or adaptive, but for sure adaptive, is the first backbone pillar of adaptive yoga is that you have to build connection. You have to build a sense of community. And the way that I do that, there's a lot of little tricks up my sleeve that I'll go into in detail in the videos, but community and connection is paramount for individuals who are living in isolation or living in alternative settings like group homes and assisted livings. Community and connection is important to everybody, but imagine living in isolation, away from your family, away from your people, away from your career, away from all that you've ever known in your life. So community and connection is so important. Breathing is so important. We know that the breath is key to brain health and to heart health. And most of people, including you and I, live in this sort of constant state of stress. There's daily stress, chronic pain, driving, money, children. We're hardly ever breathing as individuals. So in a playful and meaningful way, teaching people how to breathe again and really find full breath is so important. And so breathing is part of yoga, and it's important for individuals who don't have a lot of mobility, especially who might be hunched over most of the day, to really learn some tools on how to get better breath for their health and their mental health. And then we go into a little bit of movement that is not me teaching Sanskrit, me building a sequence, me teaching a peak pose. It's a sense of community coming together and moving our bodies in a really functional and playful way. So movement is probably this much of the program that I teach, but it is important to get people to move. And when we do it with intention and we do it with an understanding of how the brain works, which I will teach you, there's ways to get some firing of those neurons that maybe have been dormant for quite some time. And just in my 16 years experience, I've seen some pretty great neurological things happen because of the movements that I teach are firing those neurotransmitters and helping to reignite some of those memories, skills, abilities, confidence that gets lost when we have a neurological change. And then the final fourth piece of this amazing puzzle is gratitude. And gratitude can be a tough one for somebody who lost everything in a motorcycle accident or got a terrible diagnosis and has nothing to be grateful for. And so I teach how to find small things throughout the day to be grateful for. And in that process, we are shifting our attention from what we don't have to what we do have. And if you watched my gratitude series that is on this channel, you'll see that in the 10 days, I described to you some pretty hefty studies from Harvard and Yale and all those big schools, medical schools that study things, that there is definite evidence, research-based evidence of health improvements when we practice gratitude. So 4 parts: community and connection, breath, movement, and gratitude. That's how I teach adaptive yoga and assisted living. To learn more and to watch the magic happen, pop into the videos that are going to be coming. I'm going to slowly kind of post these publicly over the next week or so that you can see some of the questions that are being asked of how do you do this? And then my response to those questions. While I don't know everything, I know a lot. And if it just opens your eyes to the possibility and the potential that even maybe your neighbor next door, who you know is struggling with isolation, who you know has a diagnosis of cancer, or maybe their spouse just died, that even you as a non-yoga teacher, an everyday person, can go over there and ring the bell and be armed with a little bit of tools to help bring a little bit of goodness to that person's life. So stay tuned, keep watching, and let's keep this conversation going. I'm madly passionate about it. So have a beautiful day, and I'll be back.